In the film Grease, not all of the stages of the hero's journey are included. For example, there isn't a scene with the mentor, and there is no road back or resurrection. But the other stages of the hero's journey are included. These include the ordinary world, call to adventure, the refusal of the call, crossing the first threshold, tests, allies and enemies, approach to the innermost cave, ordeal, reward, and the return with the elixir. The first part of the hero's journey is the ordinary world. We see this because most films remove the hero from the setting they are used to. At the start of the film, after we see the opening title sequence, we see the characters in the school, showing how they normally behave as their character, and how the character interacts with the other characters. For example, we see Danny with his friends who have just returned after the summer break, and he acts laid back, because the other members of the group see him as the leader of the group. Showing the ordinary world is important, because it shows how the characters behave, and when the film continues, it will either show how the characters have changed. This is the case in Grease. Or, in other films, it will come back to the ordinary world, and that will mean we will recognise it when they are back to the ordinary world. The next part of the hero's journey is the call to adventure. In this, the hero is given a challenge which he has to complete. After this, the refusal of the call follows. This is usually that the hero doesn't think that he or she is capable of the challenge they have been set. Either that or the hero makes a mistake, which is the case in Grease. In Grease, the call to adventure and the refusal of the call happen in the same scene. In this scene, you can see the two characters being reintroduced to each other after they saw each other in the summer, shown at the beginning of the film before the opening titles. When they are reintroduced to each other, you can see that Danny is caring towards her, and he talks to her. This is the call to adventure, because he loves her, and he will do anything to be with her. However, Danny's friends come round to watch him, and they expect him to be his usual laid-back style. Danny realises this, and he becomes more laid-back. But Sandy doesn't like this, and she is upset with him. This is the refusal of the call. Although normally, the refusal of the call is when the hero has doubts about whether he can succeed in the challenge. But this is different, because it is the fact that he upsets Sandy that he refuses the call. These two stages are important for setting the adventure ahead of the hero. After Danny inadvertently refuses the call to adventure, the next key stage of the hero's journey is the crossing of the first threshold. In Grease, Danny sees that Sandy has a boyfriend, but Danny wants her back. And after he tells her that he is much better than them guys, he tries to prove it by taking up sport activities, although he isn't very good at it. The first threshold is a key stage in the hero's journey because it is when the hero accepts the call to adventure. Also in the crossing of the first threshold, we see the Threshold Guardian. According to the hero's journey, the Threshold Guardian is someone who prevents the unworthy from entering. The Guardian also presents a menace to the hero. The Threshold Guardian is the coach, because Danny is trying to play sport, but the coach seems to be someone who is willing to let the good sport players to enter, but not the people who can't play sport. The Threshold Guardian is important, because it makes the hero work hard, and it shows the audience how hard the hero will have to work to succeed. The next stage of the hero's journey is tests, allies and enemies. In Greece, the test is a school dance competition which has been broadcast live on television. In this competition, Danny has asked Sandy to dance with him. Danny needs to pass this test to gain Sandy's respect for him. The only problem is, he finds a girl that is obviously an old girlfriend of his. We know this because of his reaction. When the competition reaches the last two couples, his ex-girlfriend, who is his ally, ends up dancing with Danny. But Danny doesn't feel comfortable when she takes over, because he knows Sandy will be upset, but he has to continue because he is in front of live television cameras, so he has to dance with her. So in this stage of the hero's journey, his ally has defeated the hero in the test. This is unusual, because in the hero's journey, normally the test makes allies and enemies, but his old girlfriend is already an ally when we first see her. The next key stage of the hero's journey is the approach to the innermost cave. For Danny's journey, this is at the drive-in cinema. This is another important stage for Danny, because he has to make sure that Sandy understands that he is sorry about the competition. He gives her the gift of a ring. So far, the approach to the innermost cave is going well for Danny. However, Danny goes too far and gets very flirtatious with Sandy, and she doesn't like this, so she runs away. According to the hero's journey, this stage is at the edge of a dangerous place. The dangerous place is the ordeal. However, in Greece, the approach to the innermost cave is where the two characters break up again. So this part of the hero's journey has failed for Danny, and this means that he has to succeed in the next part of the journey, called the ordeal, because following the ordeal is the reward. So it is his final chance to succeed. The ordeal is the last chance of Danny's journey, which he has to get Sandy as his girlfriend. In this you can see a car race, in which he has to race against the T-Birds' main rivals. The T-Birds is what Danny's group is called. As you can see, he doesn't originally intend to be driving in the race, but because his friend gets hurt, he feels that he should drive, because Danny promised him earlier that he would look after him. The good thing for Danny is that he wins the race in the end. During this, Sandy's watching Danny racing. At the end of the scene, Sandy realises how much she loves Danny, and she could be thinking about the time they spent on the beach in the summer. But she realises that for Danny to truly love her, she knows she has to change her personality, which leads to the reward. According to the hero's journey, the ordeal is a black moment for the audience, as we are held in suspense, because we don't know if Danny will succeed in winning the race. The penultimate stage of the hero's journey is the reward. After all the stages of the hero's journey, this is the part where the hero is rewarded for what they have done. In Danny's journey, he is rewarded by Sandy's character making a big change, although Danny was planning to make it up to Sandy anyway. But you can see, when Danny says to the rest of the T-Birds that he will be trying to get Sandy back, this doesn't go down well with the rest of the group. That is until they see her. This is Danny's reward. Not only does he like the way Sandy has changed, his friends like it as well. So Danny gets to keep the respect of his friends.
Tell me about it, Stud.
The hero's journey says that the reward is a chance for the hero and audience to celebrate. Also, the hero's journey says that the hero now takes possession of the treasure he has been seeking. This is true for Greece because Danny and Sandy are finally together. The final stage of the hero's journey is the return with the elixir. In Greece this follows the reward, but in other films there is the road back and the resurrection. But this goes straight to the return with the elixir. The return with the elixir is where the hero is returned to the ordinary world, but the hero has to return with the treasure she or he was seeking. Otherwise the journey would have been unnecessary. In Greece this is the scene where the film ends, and the students are all dancing together, showing that the characters will stay friends and Danny and Sandy are happy in their relationship. The return with the elixir shows that the characters are back to the ordinary world and how things have changed for the better. The hero is usually the main character in the film. We normally associate heroes with films such as Superman and Batman. However, Grease is not a superhero film, but Danny still fits the hero's role because he goes through some key stages as a superhero would go through. According to the hero's journey, Danny is a group-orientated hero. The hero's journey also says that group-orientated heroes belong within a group, and the group affects their journey. For example, in the refusal of the call, it is only because of the reaction of the group, of the way he talks to Sandy in a caring way, that he refuses the call. Most group-orientated heroes split off from the group during the journey and get back together in the end. However, this doesn't happen in Grease, because it is only at the end of the film that we find that Danny is prepared to split off from the group to be with Sandy. But this doesn't happen, because the group sees Sandy after she has changed because of the reward, and that means that the group doesn't split off because they approve of Danny's choice of girlfriend. As well as being the hero, Danny is also the mentor, which is known as an inner mentor. The inner mentor is the hero who doesn't need a mentor, but guides himself to success. In this role, he is telling himself what he needs to do. He can't rely on any of his friends in the group because they wouldn't approve of Danny and Sandy together. So he has to guide himself to get Sandy. The shapeshifter is the character who changes their personality within the film. In this, it is Danny's friend who is the shapeshifter. We know this because at first he appears to be laid back, just like Danny is at the start. But when it comes to the car race, he becomes scared and he asks Danny for support. This shows a change in the character, because he is now showing his emotions more in the character than he was at the start of the film.
I thought that you could maybe be my second at Thunder Road.
What do you mean? You want me to drive with you or what?
No,